So welcome everyone. In this video we'll talk about the limit test for chloride. Before beginning we must first understand that what is limit test and why do we use limit tests. So this is a very important topic in pharmaceutical analysis. I'll first read out the definition for limit tests. So limit tests are semi-quantitative tests designed to identify and control small quantity of impurity which is likely to be present in the substance or the sample. Limit tests help us to identify the small quantity of impurity. They tell us that whether the limit of the impurity which is being present in the sample is above or below the standard level which has been set for that impurity. In these tests, the test opalescence or turbidity produced by the specified amount of impurity in the test sample with the reagent is compared with the standard opalescence turbidity produced by reaction of standard solution with the reagent. Now let me explain this what is happening over here. We are talking about limit tests. In limit tests, what do? We compare. In most limit tests, we will compare the turbidity or opalescence. Turbidity refers to like when the solution turns a little bit of milky. So we will compare the turbidity of our test sample with our standard solution. Okay, so we will compare the turbidity produced by both of these solutions with the reagent, and if the turbidity produced by the test solution is more than the standard solution, we say that our limit test has failed. If the turbidity is more, okay, but if the turbidity produced by the test sample is less than that by the standard, we say that our limit test has passed. Okay, so we only compare the turbidity produced by the two solutions. In standard solution, why do we compare it? Because in standard solution the level of impurity has been fixed in our pharmacopoeia, that this is the specified amount of impurity which can be in this sample. Okay, so if the turbidity produced is more, it means that our limit test has failed. If the turbidity is less, it means the limit test has passed as compared to the standard solution. So one thing over here is more important, that limit tests only tell us that whether the amount of impurity is more or less than the standard. That is, they only tell us that whether our limit test has passed or failed. They do not tell us about the quantity of impurity. Okay, they do not tell us that how much quantity of impurity is present in the sample. They only tell us about the limit of impurity. That is why they are known as limit tests, because they only tell us that whether the limit of impurity in our sample is below or above than which is present in the standard solution. So this is what we do in limit tests. They only tell us about the level of or the limit of impurity, and in most limit tests we check about this level by comparing the turbidity of standard and standard solution and test solution. And in some limit tests we also compare the stain, and we will do about that in the limit test for arsenic, but here we are going to talk about the limit test for chloride. So this is what we do in limit test. We compare the turbidity or the opalescence of the test solution with the standard solution. Now let us begin with the limit test for chloride. Firstly, let us talk about the requirements. So the chemicals which are required are sodium chloride, silver nitrate, sample, dilute nitric acid. The glassware required is pair of Nessler cylinder, volumetric flask, beaker, measuring cylinder, glass rod, pipette and spatula. Now one more thing over here is important, that the limit tests are carried out in Nessler cylinder. Nessler cylinder are specialized equipments which are being used for carrying out the limit tests, and these are having a definite length and volume, and we need a pair of Nessler cylinder, which means that we need two Nessler cylinders. In one Nessler cylinder we will prepare our test sample, and in the other one we will prepare our standard solution, and then at the end of the test we will compare the turbidity between these two. Okay, so we will take two Nessler cylinders, and these are specialized for our limit tests. Now the equipment which we need is a weighing balance. So now let us talk about the principle for limit test for chloride. So this test is based on the reaction of soluble chloride with silver nitrate in the presence of dilute nitric acid to form silver chloride, which appears as solid particles or opalescence in the solution. So what we are doing is we react our soluble chloride, these are the soluble chlorides, with the silver nitrate in the presence of dilute nitric acid, and this silver nitrate, it reacts with our chloride impurities to form silver chloride, and this silver chloride occur as a precipitate in the solution, and these precipitates give rise to the turbidity or the milkiness, and that is what we compare in this test. Okay, so what is happening, that soluble chlorides are reacting with the silver nitrate in the presence of dilute nitric acid to form silver chloride, which appears as solid particles or opalescence in the solution. Now let us talk about the reason why we are using dilute nitric acid. Okay, so the role of nitric acid provide acidic medium to the reaction, obviously, because it is an acid. It is also used to prevent precipitation of acid radicals, and it dissolves other impurities if present. So this is the reason why in this test we are using dilute nitric acid. So this was about the basic principle of limit test for chloride. Now let us talk about the procedure, that how we are going to prepare our test and our standard solution, and then how we are going to compare the turbidity between these two. So procedure. Here I have written the steps for the preparation of test solution, and here I have written the steps for the preparation of standard solution. Only the first step is different. In the test solution we will take our sample which will be having the impurities of chloride, and on the other side in our standard solution we will take the standard solution of sodium chloride, with which we will compare our test solution, and rest all the steps will be same. So what we will do, in the test solution, we will dissolve specified quantity of sample in distilled water and transfer it to Nessler's cylinder. Okay, so what we will do, the sample we will dissolve specified quantity of sample in distilled water and transfer it to the Nessler cylinder, and we will also label it as test. Labeling is very much important because it helps us to distinguish between the test solution and the standard solution. And on the other side, we will take another Nessler cylinder, and there we will take 1 ml of 0.05845% weight by volume solution of sodium chloride and transfer it to the Nessler cylinder and label it as standard. Okay, so this is the first step. Here we have taken the sample, and here we have taken the standard solution of sodium chloride. And the second step is that then we will add 10 ml of dilute nitric acid, and here also we will add 10 ml of dilute nitric acid, and then we will dilute this solution up to 50 ml with water. Here also we will dilute with water, and then we will add 1 ml of silver nitrate solution. Here also we will add 1 ml of silver nitrate solution, and finally what we will do, we will stir this solution with a glass rod and allow it to stand for 5 minutes, and same we will do for our standard solution. So this is how we will prepare two solutions in two Nessler cylinders. One will be the test solution and other will be the standard solution. So after we have performed all these steps, what we will do, we will finally compare the turbidity between these two solutions. Okay, so now observation. If test solution shows more opalescence than standard solution, it means that the limit test fails. If test solution shows less opalescence than standard solution, it means the limit test will pass. Obviously, if the opalescence is more, it means that there are more impurities, and if there are more impurities than the standard solution, it means that our limit test which will fail. That means impurities are more and we do not need more impurities. And if the opalescence is less, it means that impurities are less, and if impurities are less than the standard solution, then that is a good thing for us because we do not require impurities. Nobody requires impurities in their sample or in their solution. Okay, so if the opalescence is less, it means the impurities are less, and that is a positive point. So our limit test will pass. So this was all in this video. If you liked it, please subscribe. Thank you.